What's up, metal fans? Welcome to episode 26 of the Playcast. For today's featured artist, we have Burst Into Fire.
The pale stranger inside of me has loved me for so long. It got me on my knees and made me feel alone.
Here on the Playcast, we'll be featuring new releases by metal bands around the world to help grow their fan base and support the metal community. If you like discovering new metal bands, please like and subscribe to this channel to stay in the loop. Burst Into Fire is a band I discovered through a podcast called Straight to the Core, which featured my band and them along with 4 other rock and metal bands. It's really cool as an up-and-coming band to get featured on any type of press, whether it's a shout-out, blog, podcast, or just people sharing your music. It's always hard in the beginning to get people to listen to your music, and you'd actually be surprised by how many good bands are out there when you give a new podcast or blog a chance. And I'm happy I checked these guys out after hearing the podcast we were on because they're badass. Burst Into Fire comes to us from Brazil and consists of members Rafael, David, Caesar, and Abel. In 2019, they released their first EP, Heart of Ashes, to get their start as a band. I've heard some good things about the Brazilian metal scene, plus then you have metal titans like Sepultura that help bring attention to Brazil on a global scale. When you're in a country that more widely accepts heavier music, it's really key in a new band's upbringing with playing shows and getting local attention. The style that Burst Into Fire has in their music, especially in their most recent releases, definitely fits in the mold of a mainstream metal appeal. Their influences range from bands like Trivium, Slipknot, and Bullet for My Valentine. I remember when I heard their music for the first time, and I told them right away that I had an even blend of Slipknot and Trivium vibes. I think the only other bands I might throw into the mix are Soulfly and Machine Head, especially on the choruses. Speaking of their most recent release, Hold Me Down is a really cool and interesting track. Starting off as an aggressive, straightforward riff with screaming vocals, and then having a quick transition to a more laid-back melodic chorus changes the feel of the song in a drastic manner. Considering that metal is usually a highly emotional genre, it's really important to get the message across, and these guys really drive the grit of the song through their writing. Currently, the guys are working on more music and actually filled me in on some cool info about their latest singles. So they have Hold Me Down, the song I talked about, which the album art is the head of a lion. Then they have the track My Last Confession that has a dragon head for the album art. And then finally, they're planning on their 3rd single release to have the visual of a goat, which will then combine the art of all 3 animals to make up Chimera, a monster in Greek mythology that has parts of each of those animals formed into one creature, which will make up the full album. Of course, having great songs is important, but if you can dig deep and have more messages outside of the music itself, whether it's art or imagery, it makes it way more fun for the fan and gives them more to look forward to on releases. As always, I've provided their social links in the description below, so please be sure to give them a follow and add them to your playlist to keep up with their upcoming releases. Thanks for tuning into the Playcast. We'll see you next time.